morning everyone. So I'm out here today to give you an idea of how launch control works. So you're not going to see me trying to explain the exact physics of how this works down to the umpteenth detail. You're just going to see me using this in a real world situation. I can tell you it is a lot of fun. It certainly puts you back in your seat. It's a different kind of feeling. It's like that feeling when you're in a car and someone just guns it. If you've been in an electric vehicle, Tesla, something like that, just floors it, your stomach just goes up into your chest. It's kind of like that, but you're on a sort of a different angle, so it goes the other way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean when you give it a go, but certainly makes a difference. So as I understand it, launch control, all it really does is controls the angle of your pump through your acceleration from north upwards. So all it's really doing is controlling your trim when you're trying to go really fast from standstill. And it seems to work pretty well, as you'll see. I'm just going to show you, I guess, me launching it just in normal mode without launch control. I'll probably try launch control in normal mode. I might just try normal sport mode without launch, then a launch control with sport, and that's the ultimate. So that's when you really go for it. And that's the one where everything goes that way. So I'll show you all of them. You'll see different angles of me just taking off. That's pretty much it. I'll give you a quick intro as to how you turn it on your ski. Otherwise, let's go. Okay, so we're just going to do a normal launch, just normal mode, trimmers down, no sport mode. Let's have a go at this, just a normal launch. So that's a normal mode takeoff without launch control. So she's still pretty fast, but just nowhere near sport or with a launch control going. So let's try a sport mode takeoff and see what that's like. Whew. Let's get your adrenaline going, I tell you. Trimmers down. A bit of sport mode. Let's give this a go. Definitely notice that in sport mode. It just throws you back in your seat. So sport mode, you probably saw from my facials, just hits you from the get-go. Puts you right back in your seat. If you're not holding on, you're off the back. I wouldn't want any faster than that, if I'm honest with you. Okay, so putting it in launch control is pretty easy. You literally just hold the VTS buttons top and bottom down, and there you go, pops up, and you're good to go from there. And then you have a little IVTS at the bottom, you can sort of see in the middle there. So launch control is good to go. It's good for one launch, and then it resets itself. Now the other thing to keep in mind is your trim. So someone told me you're supposed to put your trim down at the bottom when you're starting launch. Whether that's accurate or not, tell me in the comments. And then of course, do you want to put sport mode on? If you put sport mode on, then you're in ultimate launch, which is heaps of fun. So that's probably the fastest you're going to go. So if you get your trim right, you're on flat water, sport mode, launch mode on, you're really going to go. Okay, let's put it into launch mode, trimmers down. Yeah, that's fast. Far out. Okay, so that's the normal mode launch control on, and that certainly makes a difference. It's still pretty smooth on the takeoff, but I think you're getting a little bit faster than if you didn't have launch control on. So we're going to trial it now with sport mode and launch control, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so the trimmer's down. in sport mode. Launch mode's on. Let's go. Whoa. Yeah, sport mode makes a difference. Sheesh. So sport mode and launch control. Wow. That certainly does the job. Puts you back in your seat, but in more of a controlled fashion. That's the only way to describe it. You just want to make sure you're holding on. I know there's different positions people get into when they're taking off. I don't know how people that tune up their skis can stay on their skis sometimes, if I'm honest with you. It's quite admirable. And I'm by no means, again, am I a racer, but I don't feel like I need any more power. If I took away the 300 an hour, like if I jumped on, say, if I jumped back onto my GTI 170, I think I'd miss it, to be honest. I'd miss the little bit of power on the supercharger. So to wrap, I think the easiest way to describe it is it just takes the edge off your takeoff. You feel like you've just got a bit of a controlled initial start. Once you get to about a second in though, she's all go. So if you compare it to, say, just taking off in touring mode or normal mode, it's quite a gradual progression. Chuck it in sport mode's quite aggressive, just jolts you straight off the bat. When you put it into launch mode with normal or touring, I would just say it's an exaggerated normal mode. It just feels like you've got that little bit more grunt behind you, but you still feel smooth and controlled. And it's very similar in sport mode with a tiny bit of, I guess, gradual progression on that initial takeoff. Still slams you into your seat, but just feel a bit more controlled about it. So it's the only way to describe it. It's great fun. I'd recommend it on any ski. If you're looking at getting one, you probably won't regret it. As to how often you use it, I don't know. Again, I haven't used it a lot with people on the back, but I think it'd be a good thing just to bring out if you've got people on the ski, warn them, get them to use your handles on your life jacket, hold on tight, and it'll be heaps of fun for everyone. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of it, and if you're thinking of buying a ski, this might help in your decision making around launch control, what ski to get. Never know. Other than that, thanks again. We'll see you next time.